I repeat, this webinar is being recorded, so you're welcome to take some notes, but don't worry, you'll get a copy of it as well. And if you missed volume one, we're going to get started in just a minute here by explaining what you missed. But I thought we'd start first by framing this content in the right way, because we are in a period of market disruption. We're in a period of market volatility. And I wanted to take a moment to understand what challenges you're facing in your business. So if you could complete the prompt on your screen. We're going to use the chat box a lot today. So go ahead and light up that chat box. Make sure the drop down is selected to all panelists and attendees. And if you could just complete this prompt for me, what challenges are you facing in your business today? What objections have you heard from buyers or sellers in the past week, past month? Go ahead and submit your answer in the chat box, and we'll address some of these today. In previous webinars, we've heard about maybe a reluctance to put a home on the market due to some of the economic uncertainty, perhaps lower inventory, buyers not wanting to write an offer. Chris is saying appraisals coming in too low. Greg's saying waiting for the pandemic to end. Absolutely. I think there's a lot of uncertainty about when this pandemic will be behind us. Lack of listings. Yeah, Scott is referring to the shortage of inventory. We're seeing that across many markets in the US. And Susan agrees that appraisals are coming in too low. So feel free to throw in some more if you'd like. I promise we're going to address many of these on today's webinar and give you the language, the tactics, and the technology to unlock more inventory, unlock more listing opportunities, and put some of your clients' concerns to ease when it comes to the economic uncertainty or the uncertainty around the pandemic. So we're going to tackle that today. Here's the agenda, pretty straightforward. As promised, I'm going to do a quick recap of Playbook Volume 1, and then we're going to talk about how markets get constricted and new strategies for capturing seller opportunities, guiding sellers after a listing takes place, and all of that is wrapped around some new products. So we're going to make some announcements to you here today that will help you use and leverage RealScout in new ways. So this webinar will almost be an owner's manual for these new features. And these features are being provided free of charge thanks to the generosity of your leadership. So Volume 1 recap. In the last webinar, we looked at a framework that we'll continue to use today, and it's all about your book of business, your pipeline. And at RealScout, we talk about your pipeline in 3 distinct stages or levels of motivation. You have potential clients, opportunistic clients, and serious clients. Now, for potential clients, these are folks who are not considering buying or selling in the near future. They're in your sphere of influence, but they're probably low loyalty, and it requires significant nurturing before you can move these folks forward. Opportunistic clients. Now, you may not have thought about it this way, but these are clients who are eager to transact if they had the right circumstances or if they had the right guidance from you. And so I'd argue these are the most important clients to focus on, and we'll explain why in a few slides. And then finally, you have your serious clients. These are by far the most valuable clients in the short run. They're already in the process of listing or buying a home. They're high loyalty, and they're very low risk of falling out of your pipeline. So in the last webinar, we examined why client engagement is so critical now. And it's because market uncertainty causes this, what I call a great client retreat. You have many clients that are going to shift from being very serious to only looking for good deals or opportune circumstances. You have others that are going to shift from serious or opportunistic into this potential bucket, and that's something you cannot afford to have happen. Let me put it this way. If clients stop considering a transaction altogether, they may not remain loyal to you when conditions improve. So in the last webinar, we repeated a mantra together, which I encourage you to write on your bathroom mirror using dry erase marker. That mantra is keep clients around for the rebound. Keep clients around for the rebound. When there's a rebound in inventory, when there's more listings on the market, you want to be best positioned for that time. Now, there were a few tactics we discussed in the last webinar. I'm only going to go over them very briefly today. The first was maintaining high-touch collaboration with your clients. Now, RealScout's a great way to do that, but you can supercharge your RealScout experience by investing in other plugins or products out there like BombBomb or Zoom, or there's a free plugin called Loom, L-O-O-M. And this was incredibly popular in the last webinar because you can not only send listings to your clients, but you can commentate over those listings. You can share a screen recording with your face in the bottom right of the screen and you can say, hey, Sandy, I think you'd really appreciate this listing. Here's why. So again, that's LOOM, and it's free for you to use. I think there's a free promotion due to the pandemic. So Bart just posted the link in the chat box. That was maintaining high touch collaboration, essentially putting screen share and video chat and smushing that together with your RealScout experience. So something I recommend you check out. The second tactic is identifying unfazed clients in your pipeline. Because let's face it, there are some clients in your pipeline who are going through a period of transition, maybe with life, maybe with employment. We want to respect those folks, but we also want to recognize that there are clients in your pipeline who are as eager as they were before to buy or sell a home. In fact, they may be even more eager. And the only way you're going to know about that is if your clients are on RealScout. In other words, if your clients are searching on Zillow or Redfin, you're not going to have a lot of visibility into that behavior or how active those clients are. But if you can see that my client Bill looked at the same property 5 times yesterday, that's a red hot conversion moment that you're going to want to act on. So you could think of RealScout as these firewalls in your pipeline to prevent this great retreat from happening. Again, RealScout is the best way to prevent retreat in your pipeline and keep clients around for the rebound. And you all have access to RealScout, so if you're not using it, now would be a great time to get started. If you didn't see the news the other day, RealScout was listed as the #1 resource for agents looking for a leg up. DocuSign was #2, RealScout was #1. So again, I'm urging you, if you haven't yet dug into your free RealScout account, please do. In fact, a VP at NAR recently said that RealScout is the Zoom of real estate, because when it comes to collaborating with your clients with some distance, RealScout's the best way to do that. So today we're going to take things to the next level with tactics and strategies to engage and convert not only your buyers, but anyone in your sphere of influence. So for context, let's examine why or how markets get constricted in times of crisis. Because in normal circumstances, in normal market conditions, there's confidence on both sides of the market that transactions are going to occur successfully, right? Sellers have confidence because the economy is doing well, because there's steady property prices, maybe even a belief that property prices will increase in the near future. And for buyers, they have their own set of indicators, maybe strong economic sentiments, maybe a predictable stream of new listings, which I think one of you said earlier is a challenge right now. And that brings me to the next slide. These are not normal market conditions. These are volatile market conditions. And when the market shifts the way it is, it changes the way people think about buying or selling a home. A lot of those confidence building things we just talked about start to go away. Now there is lower inventory. There's uncertainty about whether prices will remain stable or about the economy as a whole. I don't think anyone mentioned it in the chat box here, but there's uncertainty around the election. There's uncertainty around the economy, unemployment, et cetera, et cetera. So by thinking about it this way, we can actually see a pattern or a loop start to develop. It leads to a cycle. And we're getting into a situation where sellers don't have the confidence to list, and therefore inventory dries up. Then buyers get discouraged, or they might be stuck because frankly there's no inventory out there, and the pattern repeats again and again. It becomes a cycle. So the market disruption loop, as we call it, this is very important. It is avoidable, right? There are sellers, of course, willing to sell if they got the right price. There are buyers out there willing to buy if they got a good deal, if there was more inventory. So we need to de-risk the proposition of buying or selling a home. And the way to do that is by injecting better data to break this loop, right? Traditional data sources won't cut it here. If you're relying on a CMA on your listing appointment, that's okay, but you need to add some up-to-date buyer activity data in there. You need to enable your clients to test the market before it goes live and get better and more direct feedback from the market, whether that be agents or clients. And so you'll hear about ways to do that today. These tactics we're about to share with you are not only going to prevent a retreat in your pipeline, they are going to propel your pipeline forward. And that's what we're here to talk about this morning, this afternoon. So RealScout can make this a reality. We've been launched in Charlotte. We've been launched in your market for quite some time now. We have many high intent buyers that are using RealScout alongside their agents in your market. And today, these new features we're going to show you can reveal insights about that buyer behavior. We're about to show you some brand new, never before seen product And that's going to help you walk into your listing appointment with a new story and engage your clients, and not only buyers, but again, anyone in your sphere of influence. So there is no one better to share these features with you than Bart Marchioni. So Bart, I'm going to pass it off to you to walk through these features now.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrew. Now let's get to the good stuff. All right. So today I'm going to share with you a new disruption optimized flow for working with sellers. This is all the new product that Andrew just talked about. So it's broken down into 3 steps. Step 1, engage sellers with market alerts. Now, folks, these are brand new alerts that are for people at the top of your funnel. Okay. Could be a list of potential sellers, could be your sphere of influence, or perhaps your geographic farm. Step 2 is to build seller confidence with test the market. So when you get a new seller prospect and they call you up and say, come over and talk to me about selling my home, now you can go into that listing presentation with a whole new story, all right? Real-time market demand data to help the seller dial in the perfect price for their listing. Now, step 3 is to support your sellers with the new My Listings dashboard. All right, so once you have a new listing and it's on the MLS, you can use RealScout's tools to get real-time analytics about how your listing is performing on RealScout. So we're going to walk through each of these 3 steps, and we'll start with the new market activity alerts. So I'm going to show you a live demo of how this works, okay? So here's your RealScout agent dashboard. Again, if you've been using RealScout, you know this is your tool to add your clients, create searches for them, and keep track of their activity. Now you're going to see on the left-hand side a new item called Market Alerts. So you can click on that and start this process from here. And you can also start it when you add a client to the system. So let me show you how that works. So here with the Add Client button at the top of the screen, I click that. And let's say I have a potential seller that I'm going to add to my RealScout database here. Let's say it's Sally, home seller. All right, seller, there we go. And her email address is sally@homeseller.com. Now, when I click next, it's going to ask me if I want to add their first email alert. And you're familiar with our listing alerts, right? But now there's a new type of alert called Market Activity Alert. So I'm going to select that and click Create Market Activity Alert. It takes me to a screen where it asks me to enter some market, okay, or draw a custom boundary to see what the home buyer demand is, okay? The market activity alerts offer a real-time pulse of the home buyer demand in a particular marketplace. So let's put in something. You can type in a city or a zip code or a neighborhood, so it could be as simple as Charlotte, okay? I can select it from the list and it's gonna show me the boundary. I can also draw my own shape. So I could click the draw icon here and then just, draw maybe around this outer loop around Charlotte as an example, okay? Now, I can also put in a price range. If I wanted to look at the market activity in perhaps the condo market, maybe dial it down, or maybe the luxury market, put a higher minimum price as an example. But I'll just click the blue preview market activity report button, and it's going to show me the market activity and what's been happening on RealScout in the last 90 days. Now, here are the statistics. There have been over 1,900 active buyers searching in this geographic area. And they've been really active on the RealScout platform. In fact, they've interacted with listings over 91,000 times. Now, that's pretty amazing. And what this map is showing right below, this is called a heat map, folks. So I can zoom in a bit here and start to see where the really popular hotspots are, where the buyers are all searching. Darker colors indicate more popular neighborhoods. That's pretty cool. And then right below it, I can see how this activity has changed over time. And you can see, boy, the number of buyers interacting on RealScout has really increased recently. So you could use this information to show a potential seller that there is sufficient demand to put their home on the market. And then right below that, I'll see the top viewed listings, the recently sold listings, and the ones that are the most recent listed properties in that area. And I can click on them to get all the details about them. And what the really cool part about this new feature is, folks, is that I can save this market activity report as an alert and send it to my clients on a periodic basis. So in this case, I can give it a custom name, call it the Charlotte area, something like that. And I can select the clients to send it to. Now, Sally is already selected because I'm in the process of adding her to the system. I could also add other people, maybe Test McTesterton, and I can add myself to it. I can add, in fact, to 25 different clients to this alert. Yeah, so I could add a whole group of people. All right, and then I can select a schedule, and I can send it on a frequent basis, like biweekly, monthly, maybe quarterly, or manually whenever I want. In this case, I'll just choose monthly, and there's an option to send it right now, and I can click save, and boom. These 3 clients now have this market activity alert saved to their account. They're going to start to get these updates that will show them the real-time home buyer demand in their market. Pretty cool, huh? Now that's going to keep them informed of what's going on, what the buyers are doing in their neighborhood. Again, giving them the confidence to list. All right, that leads us to the second, we want to talk a bit more about how I might use this information here. All right, so now again, sending market alerts is great to keep your clients updated with what's going on, but you could also use it to generate new leads, for example. You know, if I was still selling homes, the first thing I would do is publish this information on my Facebook page. Yeah, what you could do is you could take that market activity report, for example, the heat map, and post about it. For example, say something like, I just pulled the market data in my zip code and was surprised to see how well demand has held up in the recent months. Would you like a market report too? Message me below. In fact, you know what, folks? We're going to send you instructions on how to easily post this information on your Facebook page. So I'll include a generic heat map, that little image that you see there, plus some pre-written taglines that you could just copy and paste right into your Facebook post. All right, so I hope that helps you generate some more seller leads with this information. Another way you could use this is perhaps create a flyer. You know, maybe if you're walking around your neighborhood farm, maybe you're meeting homeowners, introducing yourself, and passing out some market statistics. Well, you could paste in the heat map, for example, and the chart of how that demand has changed over time and the recent comps in the neighborhood, and use that to make a nice flyer. Yeah, that's going to really help you stand out from the crowd, because the other agents are probably just handing out comps, right? But market demand, buyer demand in a market is unique, and hope that helps you generate some more listings as well. And here's how you might use this information in relation to the client pipeline that Andrew talked about earlier. So for those potential clients, well, you can nurture them with periodic updates. Keep them informed about what's going on in the neighborhood, and give them, again, that data that will help them potentially put their home on the market. And for those opportunistic and serious sellers, well, show them how that demand has changed over time. Okay. Talk about how there is sufficient demand to put their home on the market. All right, so explain why it might be worth moving forward with a sale right now. Unlock that inventory that we all said is so low right now, right? All right, so that leads us to step 2. When somebody says, hey, come over and talk about selling my home, now you can use our new test the market feature to build seller confidence about the market. So let's give you another live demo of how this works. I'm gonna go back to the RealScout agent dashboard. And again, on the left-hand side, you see a new item called Listing Tools, folks. Under there, there's 3 sub-items: My Listings, Test the Market, and Disclosures. So let's focus on Test the Market. So let's say I'm going on a listing appointment this weekend. All right, I'm going to this person's house at 4842 Gilmore Drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, it's a single-family home. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. You know, I think the price would be roughly around $300,000 if we were to put it on the market, but let's test the market and find out. So I click generate, and now it's going into our system to see all that home buyer demand and who's looking for properties just like this one. All right, here we go. So here's the map of where it is, target address, target price on the right, and then right below it, we have what we call the matched buyers pricing calculator. All right, what this is showing me, this dark blue bar here in the middle, is that at a target price of $300,000, there are currently 265 buyers who might be interested in a property like this one. Pretty cool. That's awesome. But what the other bars are showing me is that in a 5% increment, either below or above that price, how many more or less buyers would match. Yeah, that's cool. So I see if I drop the price a little bit, well, there'd be about 2% more buyers and 3% more if I keep dropping it. But conversely, if I were to raise the price a little bit, boy, there'd be 15% less buyers. So you can help that seller dial in the perfect price for their listing to attract the most amount of buyers. Right below it, you see the heat map where the all the demand is, and you can narrow this down to the particular zip code or even the neighborhood in which this house is located in to see, again, those hot spots and how that demand has changed over time. Again, showing a seller this will really help give them the confidence that there is enough demand to put their home on the market. All right, so very soon you'll be able to print these, export them as PDFs. For right now, folks, you just have to use this on your computer or on your iPad or your tablet and bring it to your listing appointment on your device. But again, very soon you'll be able to print these and include them into your listing presentation. And what that might look like is this. Okay, so if you're putting together a CMA, of course, you're going to go to your listing presentation with one, right? Now you can paste in the information to show them what the demand is like in their neighborhood. And again, how that's changed over time. So this additional data is really going to help you stand out from the crowd and hopefully help you win that listing. All right, here's how you might use that with the different parts of your client pipeline. For those potential sellers, well, identify the clients that are eager to move forward. You know, gauge their reaction to this report as you show them, and see what they think, and if they might have some interest after seeing that there is enough demand. And for those opportunistic and serious sellers, well, again, use it as evidence that there's enough market demand for their listing. Convert them into serious sellers, and double check your pricing strategy. You know, make sure that you're going to dial in the perfect price to attract the most amount of buyers. And you could actually set up your seller for a potential price reduction in the future. Because if there's a lot more demand just below the price you've chosen, well, in the future you can say, see, there's more demand at this lower price. So that's a really great way to set up the seller for success. And so that leads us to step 3, which is the new My Listings dashboard. Pardon me. So once you get a new listing and it's on the market, we're going to go back to our dashboard here, and we're going to go back to our listing tools on the left-hand navigation bar and click on My Listings. Now, we know obviously all the listings that are on the MLS, and we know which ones are yours, and you'll be able to claim the listing to unlock the analytics. All right, so we'll be able to show you your listings. Just click the blue claim button, and then you're attached as the listing agent to it. Now, I've already done that for the purposes of this demo, and so I can click on the blue View Analytics button on this listing, 4842 Gilmore Drive. It's going to pull up the listing detail page. You're familiar with these, seeing them on RealScout. But now there's a new tab here that says Listing Analytics. So you can click on that to see what's been happening with your listing on RealScout. So here's what you see. There have been 135 views of this property by 61 unique viewers. Now, a unique viewer is one specific buyer, folks. Of course, they can view properties multiple times. That's why the number of views is higher. Right below it, you'll see how those listing views have changed over time. And, we all know that when we put a listing on the market, there's always a flurry of activity, and then it kind of wanes. But in this case, there's been some peaks and valleys here. I wonder why that is. Well, I can scroll down and see the listing history, and there have been, some price changes, and it's come on and off the market. And so that is resulting in more and less views over time. Right below it, you can see the buyer feedback about this listing. Now, on RealScout, there are those feature preferences, the characteristics of the home that a client can say, I like this, or I don't like that, and click the little hearts and thumbs up and thumbs down. Well, this is a summary of the buyer feedback. So in this case, 2 people don't like the kitchen. One person likes the location. Someone likes the size, okay? And so you can use this information to share with your seller. Perhaps there's some things you could tweak about your listing to make it more desirable based on this feedback. Right below it, you'll see that same matched buyers pricing calculator. That will show you that at a current list price of $369, there are 170 buyers who might be interested. But if we were to drop the price by 5%, in this case, actually, you can change it to 2% or 10% increment to see where all that buyer demand is. In this case, gosh, if we lower it down a bit, there's be 9% more buyers. So again, you might be able to take this report to your seller and show them that, yeah, there's enough demand to do a quick price reduction and attract more buyers, okay? Right below it, you'll see the heat map, again, where all that buyer demand is located and how it's changed over time. So use this information to keep your sellers informed about what's been going on with their listing on RealScout. Remember, this is all the buyer demand data from what's happening on RealScout with buyers searching with their agent. Okay. All right, folks, so that's the My Listings dashboard. Let's go back to the presentation here and talk about how you use this with the different parts of your client lifecycle. So, for example, with the potential sellers, well, you can explain that when you're doing a pitch that even after the listing is on the market, you'll have a report that will show them how their listing is performing. And then with those opportunistic and serious sellers, you can explain that when you're walking them through the test the market report, for example, that you'll have an equivalent report once the property is on the market that will show them how it's performing. So again, use this to make price reduction adjustments and see if that pricing strategy is really working as optimally as possible. Okay, so that's how RealScout's buyer data can help you win and sell listings more effectively. So again, the summary is step one, use those market alerts to keep your sellers or your sphere of influence informed about what's going on in their market. Step two, build seller confidence using test the market. When you have a listing appointment, put their address in and see how it might perform on RealScout. And then when you do get a listing, step three is to support your on-market sellers with the new My Listings dashboard. Lots of great new features here, folks. Excuse me. So you can see RealScout is not just for buyers anymore, right? And now it's for your sphere of influence. Now it's for sellers, potential sellers, on-market sellers, and you can leverage this real-time buyer demand data in your market. So remember, how you access these new features is on your left-hand navigation bar. Click on Market Alerts. It's really simple to create your first market alert. And I know you're going to be able to keep your potential sellers informed. If you need any more impetus to try the new feature, folks, we're actually going to do a drawing for a $50 Amazon gift card for everybody who creates a market alert today. Okay, so go give it a try. Add a market alert. Could even be for yourself or your spouse. More importantly, probably for a potential seller, right? Let's see what some real-time feedback is on this. And I know your clients are going to love it. But for everybody who creates a market alert today, you'll be automatically entered into a $50 gift card drawing. Okay? If you need help with these new features, our support team, our member success team is standing by to help you. All right, they're based out on the West Coast, folks, so it's 9 to 5 Pacific time, Monday through Friday. But the best way to get in touch with our support staff is to send them an email, support@realscout.com, and somebody will get back to you right away. So with that, folks, I want to see if there are any questions about these new features. Looking at the chat box, don't see anything has popped up. If anybody has any, please feel free to ask them now. We have a few minutes to answer questions before we wrap up. I don't see any specific questions, but I can tell you what, we do get a lot of questions about where this data comes from. So I thought I would just mention that right now. As I mentioned earlier, the data is about buyers searching with their agent on RealScout. So what we call high intent home buyer demand. Okay, these aren't just looky-loos. This isn't, tire kickers, random data that comes from the national search portals, for example. These are, again, high intent buyers because they're buyers working with their agent on the RealScout platform. And there are lots of buyers in your area searching with their agents. All right, so here's some questions. How specific can you be about the buyer demand? Well, the buyer demand is rather general. We're looking at all the buyers searching with their agent in a marketplace, so you can narrow it down by price. Okay, that's going to give you the ability to segment the listings that you're analyzing by low price, medium, mid price, high price, that type of thing. That will help you kind of segment out the demand. But if you get really specific by just looking at the demand for waterfront properties, for example, the data set is going to be very small. So it's not going to be super relevant and useful for a wide variety of people. So it's just really a general general data set. Okay, so someone asks, what's the email address for support? So let me go back to that good question. Here we go. It's support@realscout.com. Our team is standing by to help you, again, with these features, get success with them, and really leverage them in your business. All right, let's see what else we have here. When presenting market alerts, yeah, we can send it to multiple clients. It's 25. Yes, you can send market alerts to 25 clients at a time. So you could create one alert for 25 users and then create another alert for 25 more. We just didn't want to enable people to send out spam messages to thousands of people all at the same time. So it's limited to 25 at a time, but you can create as many alerts for 25 groups of 25 as you want. Okay. All right. So that was that example.
Looks like we have another question here about will you email us instructions to set up a social media post?
There you are, Andrew. Yes, we're set up. Actually, yes, we'll send you an email with the instructions on creating a post in Facebook or any other tool. So it will be, again, a generic heat map that you can post, that image, and also some sample captions. So we pre-wrote some compelling text that you can just paste right into your post and put it on your business page, put it on your news feed, and again, collect seller leads. We'll send that out to you. Should be tomorrow. Yeah, we'll send you the recording of this webinar today, and again, the social media post will go out shortly after that. All right. Any other questions? Andrew, do you want to give a few last-minute thoughts? I see you came back. Looks like you had dropped off there for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to reiterate that this is our largest platform update to date, right? 8 years of building RealScout, and this is the biggest announcement we've made. So if you have yet to tap into these market alerts, go ahead and give them a try. We're hearing success stories from agents across the country who are staying top of mind with sellers and other homeowners in their sphere. We'd love to hear about your success stories too. So if you do nothing else today, we wanted to end a little bit early today to give you some time to go in and create a market alert. It's very simple. Just go to pro.realscout.com, log into your dashboard, and on the left-hand navigation, you'll see market alerts. Go ahead and give it a try. With only about 15 or so attendees on this webinar, the chance that you'd be winning this $50 Amazon gift card is pretty darn high. So we're hoping to hear about your success stories and make you one of the lucky winners.
Exactly. All right, I don't see any more questions, folks. If that's it, yeah, you've got time now left in your hour here to go create your first market alert, and we hope that you get some really great success with our new features.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, folks. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.